Go ahead and start this evening's meeting. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the regular scheduled City Commission meeting tonight, Monday, August 10th, 2026. It's wonderful to see you all in the audience. Also, welcome to everybody that is tuning in on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in and paying attention. First, we'll go ahead and start with roll call, please.
Benson?
Here.
Birch?
Here.
Brunick?
Here.
Sarda?
Here.
Conkling?
Here.
Hunoff?
Here.
Mosier? Spencer?
Here.
Mayor Villanueva?
Here.
City Manager Leon?
Here.
City Attorney Denherter?
Here.
Thank you, Lisa. Next, we'll go ahead and approve the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion about that? So, mics pop on. All in favor to approve the agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The agenda is approved. Next, before you, you have the minutes of the regular meeting of July 27th, 2026. Commission, do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes of July 27th.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay.
Do we need roll call or not?
No. Nope. So those minutes are approved. Next, we have the schedule of bills before us. Do I have a motion to pay the bills?
Move to pay the bills. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to pay the bills. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Roll call, please.
Hunoff?
Aye.
Spencer?
Aye.
Benson?
Aye.
Birch?
Aye.
Brunick?
Aye.
Sarda?
Aye.
Conkling?
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva?
Aye, the bills will be paid. Item number 6 under routine business, we have public appearance. So right now is the time for anyone that is here in the audience to...
City manager report.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Skipping right ahead. Next, we have the city manager report.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor,
You bet.
and members of the Commission and public. Our mission is working together to provide exemplary experiences, services, and spaces that create opportunities for everyone to learn, engage, and thrive. I just have a few things so you can move ahead with your business. Want to remind everybody that Riverboat Days is coming. We're not meeting again as a city commission before Riverboat Days, so we have a lot of exciting things happening, of course, as we always do with Riverboat Days. Just a reminder that we are ambassadors during that weekend, so anything we can do to welcome visitors and encourage them while they're here to shop and enjoy our community and tell them all the wonderful things the Yankton has to offer, please do so, and please celebrate safely. I know that they'll learn the great opportunities that Yankton has and fall in love with Yankton just as we have. Coming up here in the next few weeks, we'll see some different schedules as well. Summer is coming to a close, unfortunately, so we'll see some different schedules with the Huther Family Aquatic Center, so keep yourself posted on Yankton Parks and Rec website. The Music at the Meridian series has been completed, so congratulations to Todd Larson and Luke Yeomans and their teams for a very successful season. We had a couple rainouts, but all in all, very well attended. We thank First Dakota National Bank for their sponsorship, as well as YMC sponsoring the last Music at the Meridian in recognition of their 80th anniversary. So we'll bring that festival back next summer, we hope. Also, a reminder from Lisa's office, petitions for City Commission are due in the Finance office no later than 5 p.m. on August 18th. We do not have anything filed to date, so I know there'll be a rush of people coming in, so please get your petitions in if you are interested in having one of the seats up here. Again, our election this year is in November. So that's all I have for you, Mayor. If there's questions for me, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you for that wonderful report, City Manager. Yes,
I don't have
Commissioner,
a
go ahead.
question, just a comment. You're talking about riverboat days and this weekend was move-in day for Mount Marty, I think the athletes. And I work part-time at an outdoor store, and so what happens is the dads move the big stuff in, and then they get out of there, but they always end up at our store. And we got to talking to one from Washington, and he was just going on and on about how clean Yankton is compared to where he's from, how nice it is. The streets are nice, the streets are clean, the parks are clean. And we take it for granted, I think, sometimes. Even the price of gas, he was amazed at how low the gas was here. And every week I see somebody posting about how we're pretty fortunate, I think. And I think that part of it is the city crews do such a good job of keeping everything looking good. So I just wanted to add that.
Yes, Commissioner.
I'm going to piggyback off that, Commissioner Conklin. There was a ball tournament down at Riverside this weekend at State A Amateurs, and a gentleman and his family walked in. They certainly weren't from here, but they were from London, England, and they too were moving their son in for soccer player. There's about 16 Brits that will be playing on the Mount Marty soccer team this year, and they too were just thoroughly impressed with our city and community in Riverside Park, and they're staying here for a while. They didn't just drop him off. They're not just dropping off and going back to London. They're going to be around here for a couple of weeks, and very complimentary of our community. So I agree with that. We take things for granted. And again, you never know who you're going to run into that you might make an impression on. So always have your chamber face on, I guess. But yeah, same thoughts here.
Thank you, Commissioners. Any other Commissioners? Real quick before we move on, I do want to say wonderful comments, everybody. Amy, you talked about being ambassadors. We truly are. We are in the customer service business. I think as employees of the city, I want to make sure that everybody, as we're even as citizens, that we're making people feel welcome. And I think that's really awesome that the Brits felt welcome here, and anybody that shows up to Yankton feels welcome. I had a chance to travel over the weekend. I want to thank Commissioner Birch for reading the proclamation for YMC down at the Riverside Park. I also want to say apologies for not being there, YMC, but congratulations on 80 years. That's a great thing to have achieved, and a great testament to who you are as a company. So I just want to say thank you. Okay, and if nothing else, then we'll go ahead and move on. Now we'll go on to public appearance. So this is the moment where anybody in the audience who would like to come up and speak to the commission about anything not on this agenda this evening, this is the time to do that right now. Yes, do you have to speak to us about something not on the agenda? About the railroad property in Vollen. Okay, yeah, that is not on the agenda this evening, so yes, please go ahead and come up to the microphone, state your name, and let us know what you have to say.
I'm Mary Huther, and I live in Vollen. And I was back here in October 28th, 24 to purchase the property in Vollen, the railroad property. And I believe, Amy, I don't know if she's still here with us. Okay, that you had answered that you'd be in touch with me. You thought it was necessary to have a survey, and I agreed. So nobody got in touch with me, and then I come back to a meeting April of 25 to see what happened, and I never got a word in edgewise because the city attorney, Mr. Denherter, said that call my office next morning. So I did, but I didn't get nowhere there. But I do know that Bond was supposed to table it because you guys already gave it to him. But they were worried because I'm going to fight somebody. I said that's what they told in the minutes, but they didn't word it right. So, but there's a adverse possession of it when the property is used for 20 years or more, and they know it. The land becomes the title holder. Excuse me. The owner of the land becomes the title holder. The user, I mean. So. I just thought that you know that.
Okay, thank you. Ross,
Because the barn's been sitting there, we moved it, I didn't know it was railroad property, but we moved that barn in there in 2004. So, that's why. My barn's sitting on the railroad property in Vollen.
Okay, so update on that situation. The town of Vollen made a motion that they would accept ownership or possession of that property. So either last meeting or the meeting before, the commission approved conveying that property to the town of Vollen. So if you believe that you've got arguments to make in that regard, you're welcome to take those to the town, and you're also free to obtain counsel of your choosing to help you with that
The
process.
town and bond, you mean? Take it
Yes.
to town and bond, because they tabled it last night. Because they're still, they still haven't gotten a parcel number for it, so it's not legally done at the register of deeds, so.
That could be. That could be.
That's why. So just deal with them instead of you guys?
Yeah, we no longer have any interest in that property.
So did the railroad property that got surveyed out there, was that the whole ball of wax, or was that just a certain section?
Whatever the city owned, we conveyed it to the town of Vollen.
Yeah, but the paper, in the paper of July 1st this year, it said the city of Yankton surveyed, Jack Brandt surveyed the railroad property on Vaughn, correct? I talked to the city finance officer, believe, down
I
there.
don't believe that that was done by the city of Yankton. I'm not sure your information is
It
correct,
says
but if you
railroad.
want to call me in the morning, we can talk about it. That's okay.
Yeah, so I would say, please, thanks for coming up to the mic. Please call Ross in the morning if you want to, technically, we're not supposed to have a back and forth during this session, but if you want to give Ross a call, also, I would say call the city of Vollen and discuss with them as well. But, yeah, if you want to give Ross a call in the morning, that'd be great.
Okay, because they did deny it once in '23. They didn't want the property. So who addressed to them that they wanted it? Because we didn't ask for it.
Sure.
Our city council didn't ask for it, so.
Sure.
Did you guys call them and just ask them if they wanted it?
So I would say again, because we've already made a motion and accepted that on this to give that city to, that property to Vollen. So again, I would call Ross in the morning and talk to him about that and then contact Vollen.
Okay, or Vaughn's attorney,
Correct.
right?
Yep, thank you so much for coming, appreciate it. Okay, anybody else that wants to come to the mic right now? I'm seeing no movement in the room, so we'll go ahead and move on next to scheduled presentations. I don't see that we have any scheduled presentations this evening, so we'll go ahead and move on to consent agenda items. So right now we have, under consent agenda items, we have one item. This is approving the current volunteer firefighter list, and it's consideration of memorandum number 26-164, recommending the city commission approve the current list of volunteer firefighters per workers' compensation and SDCL requirements, and include this list in the minutes of the August 10th, 2026 city commission meeting. Commission, do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, and we will vote on the consent agenda item at this time. So I would say, do I have, now that we have a motion and a second, we'll do a roll call, please.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Brunick.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, the consent agenda is approved. Next, we'll move on to old business, and right now we have no old business, so then we'll move on to new business. Item number 1 under new business, the Chan-Gurney Municipal Airport T-Hangar Lease Agreement. This is consideration of memorandum number 26-165, recommending the City Commission approve the lease agreement of Unit Number 1 of the city-owned T-Hangar at Chan-Gurney Municipal Airport to Mr. Paul Ashmore. Commission, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any commission discussion or questions about this? Seeing none, anyone from the public? Roll call, please.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Brunick.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, next we have item number 2 under new business. We have the annual supply of bulk de-icing salt bid award for the 2026-2027 season. This is consideration of memorandum number 26-166, recommending the City Commission accept the Blackstrap Inc. bid in the amount of $68.90 per ton for the annual supply of bulk de-icing salt for the 2026-2027 season. Commission, what's your pleasure?
Move to accept the Blackstrap bid.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any commission discussion? Anyone from the public? Roll call, please.
Birch.
Aye.
Brunick.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch. Oh, Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Okay, next, we have item number 3 under new business. We have the peddler's license request from Michael Vojtovich, Consideration of memorandum number 26-167, recommending the city commission approve the application of the peddler for application for a peddler's solicitor license received from Michael Vojtovich, 3136 West Auburn Hills Court, Sioux Falls, South Dakota 57108, from August 11th, 2026 to August 25th, 2026, to go house to house selling educational materials. Commission, do I have a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any commission discussion about that?
I want
Yes,
proof you pronounced that last name right.
I believe that I did. Any other commission discussion or questions? Anyone from the public? Okay, roll call.
Brunick.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. So Mr. Vojtovich will be able to go door to door. Okay, next, item number 4 under new business. This is the introduction, first reading, and establishing the date for a public hearing for the temporary street closure in the downtown Meridian District for Yankton School District's homecoming parade on September 25th, 2026. Consideration of memorandum number 26-168, recommending the City Commission introduce and conduct a first reading for requested public street closures for the Yankton School District Homecoming Days Parade in the Meridian District, and establish the public hearing date for Monday, August 24th, 2026. Street closures include Cedar Street from the intersection of West Riverside Drive North to 3rd Street and 3rd Street from Cedar Street to Pearl Street. Commission, do I have an introduction?
Introduce.
Okay, thank you. Item number 5, another introduction and first reading, and establish the date for a public hearing for temporary street closure in downtown Meridian District for the Yankton School District's March to the Meridian Parade on October 10th, 2026. This is consideration of memorandum number 26-169, recommending the City Commission introduce and conduct a first reading for a public street closure for the Yankton School District's March to the Meridian Parade in the Meridian District, and establish a date for a public hearing as August 24th. Street closures include Walnut from 2nd Street to 3rd Street, and 3rd Street from Walnut Street to Pearl Street. Commission, do I have an introduction?
Introduced.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, item number 6 under new business is a property plat. This is consideration of memorandum number 26-170, recommending the City Commission adopt resolution number 26-34, approving a subdivision agreement and preliminary plat of Lot 10, Block 5, Lots 4 through 12, Block 17, Lots 1 through 5, Block 18, Lots 5 through 12, Block 19, Lots 1 through 8, Block 20, Ridgeway North subdivision to the City of Yankton, South Dakota, Kirby Hofer Construction Company, Inc. owner. And before I entertain a motion, I see Mr. Beese went to the mic. I'll let him speak first.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor. Commissioners, before you is a preliminary plat for the final 30 lots of the Ridgeway North subdivision. There's no signature on this plat because this is a preliminary plat tonight, meaning pending your approval tonight, this will continue to be a phased development where we will administratively approve the final plats as they come to our office as the development builds out. And that is the intention of the developer, to continue the phasing of the property. Also included is a developer's agreement. Some of these areas were covered in previous development agreements and some were not. So to clear up any potential issues with that, there's a developer's agreement for the remaining property that will comprise the long description that the mayor read for you. Happy to answer any questions you might have.
Just, did I hear you right that you said the last 30 lots, so there won't be any more in that development, in theory?
Yeah, this owner does not own any additional property. I mean, there are some properties that are currently developed in the area that could potentially be developed in the future, but not owned by this developer or planned as a part of this development.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, do we have a motion on this item?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on this item. Then any further commission discussion? Seeing no mics pop on. Anyone from the public? Seeing no movement, roll call, please.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Brunick.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Item number 7 is the bid award for the 2026 Active Transportation Project. That's consideration of memorandum number 26-171, recommending the City Commission award the Masonry Components, Inc. bid of $345,044.35 for the 2026 Active Transportation Project. Commission, do I have a motion?
Move to approve?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I see Adam came to the mic. Adam, would you like to?
Yeah, so
Tackle
this will
this.
be this year's active transportation plan project, includes sidewalk that starts about 500 feet west of Douglas and proceeds east along 31st Street, around 31st and Penina curve, including the Trailhead Learning Center property, and then south on Penina from south of Hillcrest Grand to Burley Street, which is adjacent to the Hillcrest Golf Course. The school is participating in this on the Hillcrest, or the Trailhead Learning Center portion of the project, which is about 25% of the project, so they'll be reimbursing us for that. Sidewalk where as part of the active transportation plan. So.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments, Commission? Okay, so we have a motion and a second on the floor again. We'll go ahead, and then anyone from the public then have anything they would like to talk about? Okay, seeing no movement, let's roll call, please.
Conkling.
Aye.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Brunick.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. Next, item number 8 is 3rd Street, Mulberry Street to Pequot Street change order, final payment and project acceptance of project number 2026-001. Consideration of memorandum number 26-172, recommending the City Commission accept the completed street project on 3rd Street from Mulberry Street to Pequot Street, approve the change order number 1, and authorize the finance officer to issue a manual check to Masonry Components in the amount of $35,511.09. Commission, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second on that. Any commission discussion or questions? Seeing no mics come on. Anyone from the public? Seeing no movement, roll call, please.
Hanoff.
Aye.
Spencer.
Aye.
Benson.
Aye.
Birch.
Aye.
Brunick.
Aye.
Sarda.
Aye.
Conkling.
Aye.
Mayor Villanueva.
Aye, motion passes. And now, item number 9, this is the 2027 budget presentation, and this is consideration of memorandum number 26-173, recommending the City Commission discuss the draft of the 2027 budget. And I see Amy has moved to the podium for her presentation.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners, also public. Couple of things. There are some copies of the budget letter, which I'm going to use as a guide for my presentation tonight in the back. So if anybody wants to grab one of those. I've also provided few copies of the line items of the budget back there as well. If any one of you would like the full copy of the budget in print, you can certainly contact us. And let us know. We'll get it to you. Some people like to have that. I don't typically talk too much about the cover of the budget, and I actually have never really brought that out. But every year we go through this process of what do we put on the cover, and usually it's some significant project that we've done, or maybe in the case of the duck pond that we've taken a lot of heat for and finally gotten accomplished, or something really significant. But what happens is IT puts out a couple of pictures, and we all sort of vote on what picture we're going to use for the cover of the budget, and then I get to veto, and we pick the one that I wanted to do. But this year, when they were put forward to me, I immediately knew that I wanted to use this cover, and I don't know if you all took note of it, but we have one of our veterans here. I believe this is from our 4th of July celebration, presenting the flag, and I thought appropriate for a couple reasons. One, with it being our 250th, but two, the budget is one of those laborious bureaucratic processes that nobody gets excited about, and we all kind of, at least inside City Hall, a lot of us moan and groan about, but really good reminder that while it can feel that way, most places in the world, you don't have the opportunity to participate in a local process like that. You're not free to do that. You're not free to have any input or any information about what your local government is spending your money on, or how you're being taxed, or who is going to spend it. So we should feel particularly lucky to have that freedom. So I wish I knew who this individual was. We tried to ask around to say, does anyone know who this is? But because we just have sort of the back picture here. But very fitting, I think, this year to think about that and reflect on that in a couple of different ways. So I'm not going to go over line by line unless somebody wants to. But we certainly can do that at another date, but we can talk about each department. I know all the department heads will be upset if they don't all get at least 4 or 5 questions from you. So feel free to interrupt and ask questions if you have specific questions. I do want to pull out some important things, talk about some things that have changed since the last time we talked about the budget back in June, and then give you an opportunity to discuss amongst each other, to ask questions of me and the staff, as well as talk amongst yourselves if you have some things you want to talk about. I won't be asking you to take any action this evening. The introduction we're planning for the budget ordinance at our next meeting, and then of course action of some type on the budget, if you're ready, at the following meeting, which is September 14th. If I do hear a consensus on something this evening, we'll likely put that into the budget. That's where some of my changes came from, hearing a consensus or hearing some consensus between June and now on some of the things in the budget. So want to give you that opportunity. And there's a lot of time for the public to give input in between here. We have a few weeks, so I have gotten some comments from the public already and some questions. So that opportunity is always available to you as well. So in addition, I want to bring forward to you the format, and I know that that's changed. For some of you that have been on the commission a while, it looks a little different. Of course, we're using Cassell now, and we think the format actually looks a little cleaner and is a little easier to understand. We talked about previously, if, for example, we're using a difficult acronym for something with a lot of line items in a department budget, that doesn't necessarily make it that accessible or transparent to people, because if they don't know what that thing is, it's not very useful. But if we can boil it down and make the detail available to those who want it, it might actually get more read and used more. So we certainly are open for communication about the format this year. We did change some of the graphics, used AI for some of them, just to get a little taste of some of the things that we're able to do now with some of the different tools we have. So just a little bit different this year, and trying to change up the format using the technology that we have. So there is a lot also we don't know yet. So of course, this is a budget, it's a plan, it's not a for sure document. We will have to make adjustments, but the big things that we don't know is the following. We don't know where we're going to end up with wages. We don't have wages negotiated with either of our contracted labor unions yet, so that's a big portion of our budget. We also don't know where we'll land with our health insurance, so that's another big expenditure for the community, for our employees. You've been generous with us on health insurance, and we don't know where that will come in. Tentatively, or for now, it looks like we have had a good year, but those quotes can always surprise us. The Health Insurance Committee did ask that we go out for a full bid, meaning we have all providers come in and put a bid in. So we're not just asking our current provider, who is Avera, we're asking everyone. So we'll see where that comes in, but we don't have that information yet, so we don't know that. Also, sales tax, of course, which is what we're largely operating on, is certainly unknown. Inflation is unknown, and we do have that sales tax rebate. So while sales tax we hope and expect will go up, we also don't have a full picture quite yet on how much our rebate will end up being. We did finalize our rebate with Menards, but we did include last year that rebate to Yankton Mall as a economic development decision. But that's money that won't be coming to us for a period of time as sales tax. Our budget this year is $62,474,388. That is quite a bit less than 2026 budget, which was $72,268,000. I'd like to tell you that I cut our budget that much, but really what that means is Kyle just got a lot more done, and Kyle spent more money last year. So really that reflects the CMAR project. For those of you who've been on the commission a while, 2025's budget was 93 million plus. So we'll see our budget tick down here now that project's coming towards completion. And when we do another large project, it'll come back up. So that's why we've seen those high numbers probably since the days where we started the water treatment plant. So I think we'll start leveling out here a little bit. Our budget does creep up. I think we'll creep up every year, and we want it to. We want to see growth in sales tax and growth in the community, but we do see those big jumps when we have large projects and large expenditures. So it would be deceiving to say, that we're saving money, because we're not. We have also seen those wild swings in sales tax numbers, and it's been really hard to predict for us where we're going to end up. Just month to month, it's been really difficult to follow. So we have not been using that much as a predictor. We've looked more what's happening locally, tried to follow cost of living index in our region, and paid more attention to what we're seeing with our eyes rather than what's been reported out. Also, what we're experiencing just when we personally are shopping, and how we feel things are from an affordability standpoint. So 2027 is hard to predict, especially when we're in July. What we have landed on is 3% growth in sales tax for 2026 and a 2% growth for sales tax in 2027. And I realize that that's very conservative, and I have been criticized in the past for being conservative with my estimate. I've always erred on the side of overestimating expenses and underestimating revenue because I don't want to be wrong the other way. So in this case, I hope I am wrong, and we have more revenue and we grow more than that, and our expenditures are less. We say this every year that we do budget to zero, so we do carry forward, in a sense, what we're not spending. So part of this year's budget is part of next year's budget, in a sense. So that's common in how local governments spend their dollars. So you can't count on everything that is spent to be spent this year, or we won't be in very good shape next year. You have a list of accomplishments in 2026, things that we have gotten completed and things that we plan to complete here by the end of the year. I won't talk about all of them, but I think we've had a good success and a lot of compliments about our 250th celebration. A lot of communities our size and bigger had a 4th of July fireworks celebration, but I don't know a lot of communities that put on the week-long programming that our Parks and Recreation Department did along with their committee. Of course, we have music at the Meridian, all the things that made Yankton so special that week. So I think that was above and beyond what was expected. We've really introduced a lot of technology this year. Everybody's seeing the new solid waste truck. We're using the AI-assisted or automated mowing in some places, so we're getting used to that. For those of you who toured the wastewater plant, you have experienced firsthand all the technology that goes along with it. And with that, we're now starting to adjust and respond to threats to that technology. And in fact, just this past week, we've had cities who have had, in South Dakota, who have had cyber attacks. And we have talked even over the weekend about ways we can bolster and protect ourselves as best we can about having that technology put in jeopardy. So we're going to be working on that yet this year. Also, some physical changes that needed to happen I could list a lot of road construction, but that seemed to start in March, and I feel like it's going to go on till New Year's Day. It's just everywhere I try to turn, Adam has the roads tore up. So hopefully, by the time it cools down, we'll have our road construction done. But part of why Yankton looks the way it does, and you get the compliments you do, is because we take care of the core. I would like to just have a party in the park every day, but if we do that and spend all our money on those types of things, the skin looks shiny, but the core of the apple's rotten. So I think we've had a good philosophy in our community of making sure the basics are covered, and so it's important that those local street projects happen each year. We do try to pair those with water and wastewater projects so that when we're taking up a street, or we're fixing all the infrastructure, updating it as we go along. 23rd Street Bridge, we were trying to hold off as best we could, but by the time you have a hole in the bridge, that means you have to fix it. So luckily, unfortunately, nobody was hurt, and we were able to get that project done as well. So that was a much needed repair, and we were able to accomplish that as well. As you know, we started talking more seriously about the library project, and we're getting close to putting out for bid the building space analysis. We're going to look at the current location for sure, and then an additional location in the community, along with a consultant who's going to look at things like cost, configuration, to give the library board enough information to determine whether or not to proceed, and then where to make that recommendation. So that'll be coming forward probably late fall, early winter to the library board and then to you. The wastewater plant, as I said, continues. We hope to be near completion in 2027 and keep working through the year. We are very cash tight in that fund. We talked about that with rates. But luckily, we are on budget, and that is good for us. We are not going to raise wastewater rates this year. We're trying to be cognizant of that affordability for people. Tanner and Kyle have done a great job managing that project. They know that the contingency is part of the cash flow in that fund, the contingency for that project. So we really have asked them to be cognizant of that, and some of the extra things in that project that would be really nice to have, we're not going to move forward with right now, because we really need to keep that cash in the fund to cover unplanned expenses and to keep to make sure we can cover repairs, et cetera, so we wouldn't have to raise fees. So some of those things that would be nice to have, but we can go without them. We will go without, so that we can hold off there on adjusting rates for wastewater. We also are going to have some changes that will affect us, maybe not so much in as sales tax would, but just affect us anyway, and we don't know where they are going. Property tax, for example, I'm not sure anyone can thoroughly explain it, or if they can explain what could happen with our property tax, can explain totally how it will impact us or know how it will impact us. The only thing I think we can say with surety is nothing's going to stay the same, and perhaps when legislature gets back together, something will change again. So we have to trust our county commissioners to decide what's best for Yankton County, and look for us to figure out what impact that might have going forward personally, and then going forward for our county and our community. We also have on the ballot, I believe now coming up in November, there were enough signatures for the road and bridge levy, so there'll be a decision by that on our county, and that could influence whether or not the city would benefit from that that tax if that happens for the county. We will need to think about rates, however, going back to utilities. As you know, and the public probably heard, you did pass a resolution to increase water rates 3% and solid waste rates 3%. Not a lot of money, but in a time where costs are going up on everything, it just is one other thing to think about. So that is reflected in your budget with those numbers. Millennium Recycling has increased their costs that they're charging per ton. They're increasing $3 a ton to our rate. They've done that a few times with us. The reality of recycling is the more that we recycle, the more money we spend. And so that's regardless of how you feel about it environmentally, whether it's good for the environment or whether we burn more energy driving up to Sioux Falls, we could debate that all day long. But just so everyone's clear that the more we're recycling, the more we're spending. So the only way really to dial back on utilities, because I can't see a day where we're going to lower water or lower solid waste or lower wastewater, would be, to change how we're doing recycling. So something to think about in the future, but for now, recycling remains to be a popular program, and people still have good feedback about it. We are in season 6, if you can believe it, of the Aquatic Center. And when we built the Aquatic Center, they said between year 5 and 7, you're going to start seeing some things that need to be replaced. You're going to start seeing some repairs that are needed. And we have that need. So fortunately, we have some funds to do those. And this fall, we're going to take on some projects. That facility is no longer new, which it feels new to me, so it's hard to believe, but it is no longer new. We also are taking care of, in partnership with the school, of course, the SAC, along with a idea from the Parks Advisory Board to put a restroom on the second floor of the weight room. We've also recently experienced, unfortunately, a lot of theft from the locker rooms. The issue there is our frontline staff cannot see everybody that comes in because of the way it's positioned, and we don't obviously have cameras in the locker rooms for many reasons, and that area of the building is not as visible to everyone because of the offices and meeting rooms, and so we're considering ways. I've briefly mentioned this to Dr. Kindle so he doesn't hear it when he listens to the meeting and becomes surprised, but we're talking about ways we can maybe do some construction or reconstruction to get some more eyes or get some more front-facing reception in that building. It is 30 years old, so of course the projects are big and there's a lot of expense. So I don't have any details on that. That's just kind of something that cropped up here during the summer. And Luke, of course, has been really busy with programming, so probably more to come.
May I speak about that, City Manager?
Absolutely.
The Park Board, as you said, did discuss the idea of an upstairs restroom at the Summit Center. And I just wanted to share some of the thoughts and see if we can get a commission consensus on whether to move forward with that. It's an idea. It's an affordable way to significantly improve that facility. I know Todd Larson doesn't have an official estimate, but he did talk to a contractor who estimated $10,000 to $20,000. It's a relatively small item in the big picture of the budget. As it stands right now, if you're upstairs working out and nature calls, you have to go, walk through the gym, down 2 flights of stairs, walk through the lobby, past the front desk, and then down a hallway to access a restroom. And it's an inconvenience that would be easily solved by a modest 5-foot by 7-foot unisex lavatory with just a toilet and a sink at the top of the steps. I've talked to a lot of Summit users about this and haven't found anybody that doesn't think it's a good idea. And a lot of people think it should have been part of the original design, but be that as it may, that's 30-year-old news. water under the bridge, still a good idea today. As you said, it's 30 years old, busier than it's ever been, by the way. This doesn't get a lot of publicity, but the summit is one of our biggest city success stories. It ranks right up there with a lot of the other things that are mentioned. We broke the summit's 30-year attendance record in 2024 with 90,000 visits. In 2025, we broke that record again with 94,000 visits. And we may very well break it again this year in 2026. We just had the best June and July attendance in the facility's history. Last year, we had 5,900 visits in July, which was a July record. This year, we had 6,576 visits in July. So year over year, that's a 655 visit, 1 month increase. And there's a lot of new faces in the gym this summer. And it's kind of an enhancement that'll keep those people coming through the doors. So just like to discuss it with the commission briefly to see if there's a consensus to pursue that.
Okay, Commission. Yes, Commissioner, go ahead.
Well, somebody who works out regularly, and if you're serious at all, it doesn't make sense to have to walk down 2 flights of stairs and down the hall in the middle of your workout. I think just knowing all the gyms in town, it's only going to get busier at the summit. And I just think it would take some pressure off of the downstairs to have a simple bathroom upstairs. Mount Marty's no longer open to Great Life, so you've got the summit and Great Life, and then the Avera Wellness Center, but that's kind of a different realm. So that's my thoughts.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the rest of the commission, how do you feel about?
I would concur with Commissioner Hunoff's recommendation. I think that the Summit Activity Center has continued to show growth and improvement over the years. And, sometimes when nature calls, you need to have something reasonably close by. And
Sure.
it is too far in this situation. So I would concur.
Okay.
I just want one more thing, and this goes for the Youth Center too, and I know some people weren't happy that it was built. The city needs to have those kind of amenities for people, especially if you want to get young people, families coming in. It may not be a great moneymaker, but if you don't have it, you're going to lose some good people. So,
Thanks, Commissioner. Okay, Commission. So obviously, before we would move forward anyway, we'd have to have an actual bid and figure that out. So,
Yeah, I guess what I would recommend, because I know that, I think I mentioned to you before, possibly in an email, the school has not recognized us as a priority. And now with the other topic of perhaps doing some reconfiguration, perhaps the thing to do would be to put together the school city committee and talk about this project. And if it's put in the budget, maybe it wouldn't go in the SAC portion of the budget. It may come out of 506 or somewhere else, but I do believe that our agreement says they have to at least agree to let us do that. If I'm understanding correctly, Todd, is that right? They have to sign off on the project. And we would have to make sure it doesn't, I don't think it would meet the bidding threshold, but,
okay.
so I don't think we need to bid it out, but we'd probably get some quotes, and
Okay.
I know we're still working on that.
Okay, so if there's any
I know they don't want to pay for any of it.
Okay, so if there are any objections to what the city manager just said, at least moving forward with that.
I
And
just
I-
wonder, would it be possible just to put a placeholder figure in the budget? And if it doesn't, if that doesn't satisfy the need for the financing, we have to move the project to a future year, but a $20,000 placeholder figure in the budget seems to me like it wouldn't have a lot of impact on the bottom line. And as far as the city, like you said, Amy, we haven't actually discussed this as a committee.
No,
So they
correct.
haven't really heard any of our arguments for the project.
Correct. That's why I was thinking maybe the committee should be brought together.
I think that's a good idea. I think we need to,
Probably be something that would go into then Parks Capital. So we'll visit tomorrow at where that might be most appropriate. And I'd have to even check which commissioners are on that committee. I think Sarda is, and I'm not sure who is it you? Okay.
We've never met those since I've been on.
Right.
okay. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes. So also I want to talk a little bit about the BBB. That's on page 40. I'm going to grab my budget book here. Because I did make some changes after we talked this summer. Because I do listen to you guys. I thought I heard a consensus on the historic downtown Yankton facade grant that folks wanted to put in the $15,000 that I cut and fund that at the full $30,000. So I did put that back in to be $30,000. And if I'm wrong on any of this, you let me know. Also, after that meeting, I heard from some of you that you felt that Riverboat Days should get their full request instead of $10,000, $20,000. That's changed. So I wanted to bring that forward. Otherwise, I left the cuts in that I had previously because I still feel that we do need to start being a little bit cognizant of spending more than we're taking in the triple B. So I did leave the cut that I made to Yankton Thrive to our special events activities, which is how we fund Music at the Meridian and things of that nature. Made the cut to promotional, the $25,000 that we used to promote our facilities. And I believe there is a cut to, no cuts. I think those are all the cuts. But I do still firmly believe that when we get to the point of doing the facade grant, we should evaluate where we are with sales tax, take a look at that and consider that. I do think Riverboat Days, we know what kind of return on investment we have on that. And the facade grant's a very good thing as well. I just think overall, stepping forward, we should be a little more conservative until this balance grows back a little bit on our triple B. But again, it's not my money, and so if you feel differently, it's up to you. But I think I got what you talked about.
Okay. Any other questions on the triple B? Thoughts, concerns? Okay.
Also, a reminder that we're still in partnership with Great Life. So we work through with them at the golf course. That's worked well for us. As I mentioned earlier, one of our largest expenses, personnel wages and health insurance, we just don't have any idea yet. In fact, when it comes to our Fraternal Order of Police, we do not have our wages negotiated yet for 2026. We did give them the same increase that we had for everyone else, or for our non-represented certified officers. I did recommend, and you approved that increase, so we wouldn't get into a back pay situation, but that hasn't technically been negotiated. But we don't have 2027s negotiated for either union, and we don't have health insurance negotiated. So that could make a difference. But we can't exceed the budget as far as I'm concerned, so it would be within the numbers that you have there. And we did go out for bids for that health insurance. So the timeline here, I think I mentioned, but tonight we can discuss questions from you or the public, have some more discussion about anything in the budget. Next meeting, which is the 24th of August, I hope that we can have a first reading, and then our meeting after that, which would be September 14th, we'd like to have you act on the budget and hopefully approve the budget as presented with any changes that we hear are requested.
Okay.
So I can move back up to the front if there's questions from the public too, so I'm not in their way.
Commissioner?
Just wanted to offer a comment, not a question. I think it's smart to estimate conservatively on the sales tax revenue we can expect, but in terms of the rebate effect, I do think that the mall rebate will be offset in terms of the revenue available to us. It'll be offset by the ending of the Menards rebate. So we shouldn't see a lot of net difference in the revenue we get out of our sales tax.
Well, Lisa, do you happen to know what the Menards was? I know we talked about the number that we gave, that the rebate, the dollar amount for the rebate for the mall was almost 250 so far. And the Menards annually, do you happen to?
The annual request is a request based off sales off the business. The Menards total rebate, I believe, was 4.6 million, and that began in 2012. And we just met that full obligation earlier this quarter.
Right.
So in comparison, the mall is 3.3 million, and that's at a 2% sales tax refund versus the Menards was at 1%. So annually, it's hard to tell. I'd have to look at those exact numbers, but it's hard to tell too with the mall and their new businesses. That's an annual reimbursement, so we won't know any of that information until February of next year for 2026 figures.
It won't be dollar for dollar, but I think people would be surprised how much Menards generated in sales.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner, go ahead.
I have two questions, kind of general questions. I know earlier in the year and last year, we talked about the cost of all the projects increasing significantly, that we may have to take a look at how many projects we do. Are you still estimating we're going to do the same amount of road projects and things like that next year?
So far, yes. You know, things that I'm thinking we probably won't likely do unless we see a good jump in increase are things like, you know, we talked about remodeling City Hall and doing some work in the break room, for example. That's just yeah, we could use it. It's not necessary type project. And for example, I think we had 25,000 budgeted there. Things like that we probably won't do or push unless we get water or, you know, something happens where we absolutely have to. Things of that nature we probably won't do. Also because we need to start thinking about the roofs in some of our buildings and start thinking about that as well. But so far, I think we're not now at the point where we need to start cutting capital projects, but that might too depend upon next year's bidding environment. Right now, it's really good, and I'm surprised how good our bids came in, especially for the active transportation project. If we keep getting bids that are that good, we'll be in good shape.
And that's something we can't control.
Right.
The other question would be, and I know you can't give a certain answer, but large equipment, trucks and those, do you have an idea of how many or how much we're going to spend replacing those? And I know things can happen where something unexpected. Is it similar to this last year?
Yeah, I think there's a couple pieces of equipment in next year, but I think not as much as this year's. Is that right? Yeah, I think we did more purchasing this year. And it kind of ebbs and flows, I would say. We did make mostly that's Tim's fault because we did make the big purchase ahead of time with the fire truck. And that's a expensive purchase. We don't have it yet, but so we have that money aside. But we do have a few less pieces of equipment. And we'll look at some things like we get rid of or trade in things like the payloader or the backhoe, something like that after so many hours, even though it works fine, et cetera. After so many hours on the machine, they like to get something different. But if we're in a situation financially where it just doesn't make sense and ours is working okay, we will push it one more year.
That's kind of what yeah, thank you.
Commissioner Bruning, did you have a question?
I didn't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you for putting this together so far. Anyway, I know we still have a ways to go. The photo that's on the cover, I believe that's Al Ulmer.
Oh,
Is
okay.
who I believe that is. I just wanted to.
Well, that's wonderful.
Because I think Al does a fantastic job with the VFW and the different presentations. And
If you let me have that picture, the VSO is right next door to me at work. I can ask
Okay.
him. He'd probably.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, I really have to thank the department heads and Lisa and, of course, Dwayne for a lot of work on the budget and after-hours work and weekend work and emailing each other, not realizing we were all in the same building working on the budget. So, yeah, it's, what did Al used to say? We have 3 months of cooperation and 9 months of budget, or something like that.
Well, yeah, I want to echo that again. Thank you for all
I
the
had
work.
one more
Oh, yeah,
comment.
sorry, Commissioner. go ahead.
Question, I guess you'd call it. I know, Amy, you and your department heads have visited with some of the city commissioners about the idea of providing some funding for the ambulance service. And I don't know, have you, in those meetings, have you shared what other Class A cities do in terms of funding ambulance service? That's something I'd like to know, if that would be something you could round up for us.
Yes, I can round that up. I know some cities do operate their own EMS and fire, but I can certainly find out what different cities do.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, I just want to say thanks again for putting all this together. Thanks, staff. Also, Amy, could you just remind the citizens if they have questions, obviously they can contact any of us commissioners. If they want to contact you, could you remind them how they do that?
Yep, you can call City Hall at 668-5221. You can stop by City Hall, speak with Lisa or I, email us, and you can find that information on the website, or, certainly contact on social media, and they'll get you to the right person. Also come to a city commission meeting. The next meeting, we'll be having the budget on first reading as well, so that's an opportunity as well.
Great, thank you so much.
Don't we have a budget meeting on the 17th, work session?
I'm sorry?
Work session, you said, on the 7th? Yeah, but it's not a budget.
We do
work
have a work session on next week, but that's not on the agenda unless you want it to be. I mentioned if we didn't get through tonight, we could put it on the agenda. If you'd like it on the agenda, we can add it.
Okay.
Okay, so that if folks come to me with information or questions, I can certainly share with the commission what the concerns are.
Okay. All right, Commissioner, go ahead.
Going back to what Commissioner Bruning said, I just wanted to say how thankful I am. There's a lot of communication that goes on behind the scenes between us and the city employees. And anytime I've asked a question, whether it be Amy, Lisa, Adam, or even Jean, I get a response very quickly. And I'm always, the answer is always complete, and I'm never left wondering. So I just appreciate all that they do.
Thanks for saying that.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Amy, for that presentation. We really
you.
appreciate that. Okay, then moving on again to, this will be future business right now that we'll move into, or at least ask about any commissioner that would like to add anything to future business to come up before the commission at a future meeting. Speak now or forever hold your peace. What's that? For tonight, yep. Okay. All right, so there's nothing there. And then right now, believe it or not, I'll be taking a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion in 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. We are adjourned.